Hey, Melissa,
Yes.
I have a question.
What? You know so much.
Yep.
How can you have questions?
I have a question. I have a
Okay.
question
Okay.
because you have a life and a job and a family and friends and all the things that are very you. And woo is a part of your life. And I know you through the woo part of your life.
Mhm.
How do you come out as woo to people who've known you before the woo was such a part of how you do your work?
Less carefully now. Initially, for instance, I'm doing this.
How do you do it?
Oh,
You start a podcast. That's how
that's
you
right.
do it.
So with less trepidation, however, in some circles, I'm just careful about what I say. Uh,
Careful how? Like, do you feel you have to be?
With some people, I feel like I have to be. And some of that is my work to do. Like really, I don't believe I don't believe we're at a point where I'm going to be burned at the stake. We don't know. But right now, I don't feel like that's going to happen. You know,
Who knows now?
who
Yeah.
knows? Initially it was, oh my gosh, am I doing this thing that's not okay? Oh my gosh. I I grew up, foundationally, like that is not acceptable.
Yeah.
There will be no witchcraft.
Oh, and astrology, numerology,
Is witchcraft.
all that's witchcraft. Okay.
But yeah, for sure.
Got it.
None of that. None of that. Um, and then it just didn't make sense. I've always, for a long time, I've been into more interesting esoteric types of things, since, my 20s. But I've only recently moved into this since 2018. Interesting. That's
Mm,
when Uranus moved into my 11th house in Taurus, and all of my groups. I mean, so much about my friendships changed and my groups of people. So
I love that.
interesting. It has become easier because I've been able to find those people,
Yes.
and because I've become more confident I've learned more, because that's part of my thing too. Like, I want to have knowledge. I
Yep.
want to learn. I have to really try not to be the expert in the room about the things. But I feel like the more I know and the more grounding I have, the easier it is for me to explain to people, where I'm coming from without it sounding to them just like out of, what the hell's wrong with you? What are you doing?
How do you check the temperature of somebody? Like, what are you looking for or listening for so that you know how open someone's going to be?
I don't know if I can answer that,
Okay. Okay.
because I don't know that it's based on exactly what they say. Sometimes it's just the knowing the yeah, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like energy.
Yeah,
If
of course.
somebody might say one tiny little word about something,
Yeah.
and I don't even know if I can tell you what it is, but even saying something about a moon, or like somebody's doing a sound bath.
Oh, yeah. That's gateway.
It's like
Uh-huh.
it's a gateway.
Like, do
Yeah.
they do yoga? Okay, I'm in.
So just something like something that's a little less, capitalist, grind culture, corporate, Western, exclusive Western medicine, all of the isms. And at least I know with people who I meet like that, there's there's potentially an opening. So I can kind of think. And what's happened with even with my family, I remember when I
Yeah,
was
tell me about that. Tell me about that.
starting to study, really deep study astrology. Even before the studying astrology, there were things like I went to Reiki, and some people close to me were like, huh? Oh, really? Like, you just move energy and stuff? And I'm like, well, all I know is yes,
Yeah.
because I had that experience.
Yep.
So, and I can't explain it, but there's a lot we can't explain. So, science, we didn't know a lot. We tested it out. Some things worked, some things didn't work. And I just think that those things can coexist.
So it's
And
almost like
culture.
there's a personality type that is open to there is so much we don't know, so let's at least have the conversation. And then there's the type that's like, no, we know what we know, and this is what is, and that's it.
There are those people.
There are those people.
But what's interesting is even some of those people who might say they know what they know in certain areas,
Mhm.
sometimes will lean into, but also we don't know some things in this area.
Okay.
People who are not dogmatic in their um like fundamental beliefs of a right and a wrong, and there's a this and a that, and maybe there's room for something that we don't know, or there's room to at least explore. Or it's also interesting because I think the culture has shifted, and I can't, somebody who knows a lot more than I do, you and probably Rachel Lang, and can figure out like when this shift started and
Mhm.
why there are people who are more open to, interested in, like complementary alternative interventions in medicine and mental health, energy medicine, um, sound healing,
Neptune,
astrology.
mov- Neptune moving into Pisces,
Okay, there you go.
Uranus in Taurus, coming over into Taurus, so making it real. Yeah.
There's a lot more out there. And
Pluto,
I don't know,
Pluto in Aquarius also gave a open mind to advancements and innovations. You know,
and I think
that's
a lot
now.
of it started to, well, it was starting before that, but even at the time of the pandemic, I think that at that point, people might have gotten out of their immediate communities
Yep.
and connected with people in other communities online across the world. I mean, I've had the most amazing experiences taking classes with people, in particular in the UK, um, a few in Australia, but mostly in the, like, Scotland is pretty advanced in a lot of this, particularly like with ecotherapy and nature-based practices. So when I'm finding people, connecting with people who are nature-based, most of them are at least open to
Yeah.
talking about it. And I just have a funky group of friends. I think what happened was in 2017, I experienced a great deal of trauma, loss of a relationship, and just a lot of disruption, and a traumatic death. And it was almost like there was this fracturing that occurred, and everything just burst open. And so I could see what was what, and I could see the people who were showing up speaking a different language, and there was a bit of distancing, not in an unkind way, but from people who weren't able to speak that language, because I just wasn't going to do it again. I went through it as a child, moving away from rigid religion. I went through it when I came out, dating women for the better part of my 20s. And now I'm like, well, I guess this is another coming out. And you know what I mean?
I do, and I love that way of framing it because it allows it allows a structure to what it is to take ownership of something that feels so important to us and so clarifying. And especially, I think those of us who were traumatized in November of 2016 by the United States presidency completely shocking us to the core, so many people who felt, I don't know what to do with this reality because
Right.
this is not where I thought I lived. And I think a lot of people started going, I'm going to have to look for me.
Elsewhere.
I'm
That's
going to have
right.
to try and figure out where does this make sense? And that's when I say nothing makes sense except astrologically.
Yeah.
And then
No,
you
I
can
think
see,
true.
yeah.
And yeah, absolutely. And I think that there was a shift, for, I hesitate to use gender binary terms, but My sense was there was like this, what do we call it? Receptive, feminine, more caring energy that whoop went up like that for a lot of people after that election. And I
Sure.
do think that there's been this like trying to find our people, trying to
Correct.
find our people, trying to hold, like the redwoods, just like going underground and trying to hold on to the roots so things don't topple. And what I've found is in all of these different situations, the few times, several times in my life where there's been this evolution, shape shifting is exhausting.
Yes. Can we like run a highlighter over that and ask everyone who is finding this conversation resonant to rest more, hydrate more,
Mm.
put up boundaries more? And they don't have to be boundaries that keep people out and hidden away, or
Right.
keep you hidden away from what you're doing. That doesn't have to happen, but you must take care of yourself
Mhm.
because it is exhausting physically to do some of this ascension work.
And finding the people with whom you can enter into community and find that holding is so important, because putting on the costume, walking out the door and pretending like you are only a Vanderbilt educated professional counselor who's done this for so many years, and everything else is bull crap, and I'm going to hide that. That's exhausting. So having a foot in both worlds. So I guess to answer your question in a very roundabout way, I pay attention. It feels very personal and like a privilege for someone to know some of these things,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
and so I don't feel the need to go blast it,
Mm,
but I'll get there.
that was perfect. Thank you. That having grown up woo, um, I don't often have such considered and grounded ideas around what it's like
Mhm.
to bring it into your life.
Mhm.
So thank you for trusting me and
Sure.
our audience with that
Absolutely.
information.
Absolutely. Thank you for asking.
I just wanted to know.
Yep.
Thanks,
That's the
Melissa.
story.
That's the story. Ding. Love you.
Me too.